Hey, love. Welcome to the podcast. This is a space where we are done pretending that in order for you to achieve the goals, the dreams, the desires that you have deep aching within your heart, that you have to do it like men. We are done playing by the rules that were not really designed for us in the first place. The ones that say that our bodies, our menstrual cycles don't exist, that business has to be hard, that we have to hustle hard in order to achieve what we want. In this space, business gets to feel so freaking good. We get to ride with the waves of what your body is actually asking you to do, what deep down in your soul you know that you were here and called to do. As a woman who has been there, done that, and hustled my way through so much, forced myself, built a business like a man for many, many years, here is what I know to be true. You don't need another strategy. You don't need more discipline. You don't need to be more consistent. And you definitely don't need to just work harder. You need rhythm. You need safety within the body. You need the business that's going to feel so freaking good and that moves with you and with the laws of the universe. On this podcast, we're going to talk about what it really looks like to lead as a woman. We talk about menstrual cycles, money, identity, visibility, power, building wealth, and really ultimately becoming the kind of woman who doesn't need permission to go after her dreams or to take up space in this world. So take a deep breath and let's build the life that you desire the feminine way. Hey there, love. Welcome back to another episode. I am so thrilled to be back here with you again. It has been a while. It's been a while since I've recorded some episodes. I actually recorded some that I was planning on kickstarting and getting the podcast back up and running for our next season in January. But with everything that was going on in the world and politically and environmentally, I did not feel like it was the right timing. And so I paused and I didn't release those episodes. I do have quite a few episodes that are queued and ready to go and batched, but I just wasn't feeling this intuitive nudge to actually start releasing and starting to get the podcast episodes out there. And then I've really been sitting with this energy of the feminine and what it really means that we're calling in this next year. And then today is the Lunar New Year. And as I sat there and I was thinking about it, I was like, dude, I should release an episode and get the podcast, the next season of our podcast up and running for the Lunar New Year. And partly because so much of what I do inside of my world and my programs is really helping women tap back into that rhythm of the moon, right? It's whether it's your period, your menstrual cycle, or whether it's the moon. I do believe that the moon is a direct reflection of women and women are a direct reflection of the moon and that symbiotic relationship there, that it makes sense that we can reconnect with that law of nature and that rhythm of nature by the cycle. And yesterday was the new moon, which is the time of new beginnings. It's the time of planning. It's the time of forecasting. It's the time of looking ahead. And that is exactly what we did inside my program, Inner Circle. This year, I've made quite a few changes and I've put the Flow Collective on pause. So the Flow Collective is not operating at this point in time, but I've moved kind of what we were doing inside that Flow Collective container into the Inner Circle. So the Inner Circle is designed to really help women continue with that feminine leadership coaching and embodiment, and also helping them have the actual tools and strategies and systems to scale and grow their businesses in this more feminine way. So inside there, we went through this whole process of the last moon cycle of really tapping into the shedding, the letting go, the winter aspects of our seasons and our years, because January and even into February and even all the way into March, it really is a season of winter. It's this season of shedding and coming off of the Chinese zodiac, the year of the snake. There was a lot of shedding. I'm sure you probably would raise your hand and say, yes, there was a lot of shedding that happened last year. It seems to be the status that I hear from women over and over and over again. I thought it was just me because I feel like I hit 40 this last year and there's been a whole lot of letting go of expectations, letting go of beliefs, letting go of ideologies, letting go of ways of being that I thought was just a part of who I was and the journey I was on. But then to find that we were in this Chinese year of the snake, and that is a part of that. That's a part of that process of letting go and shedding those things that no longer serve you, those things that no longer are needed. They're not taking you to where you want to go and who you're becoming. And now, as of today, we move into the year of the horse and the year of the fire horse. And I've been feeling this. I've been feeling this energy coming. I've been feeling a lot of this transition between the shedding of the snake and this letting go, this like winter energy into this activation energy. The fire horse, the last time we ever had a fire horse year was in 1966. And there was a lot of taboo and stigma around women, particularly born in that year. In fact, in Japan, there were like people, like women actually and families stopped having sex in order to reduce the risk of them having a woman born in that year, because they believed that those women born in that year were going to be too strong, they were going to be too willful, they were going to be too resistant to their husbands and their partners and the society, right? Because the fire horse brings such a strong energy. It's this activation, it's this wild feminine deep within inside. And regardless of what year you were born in, we all have the capability to tap into this energy. And I've been feeling it so much, like so much. I, for a very long time, have been teaching women how to use their menstrual cycle to become more productive, how to slow down, how to really amplify what we're doing. A lot of the women that I worked with for a long time were burnt out and they're exhausted and they're depleted and they just needed something in order to feel a little bit more balanced, to feel a little bit more at peace, to feel a little bit more present. And so a lot of the message and a lot of the tools and a lot of the things that I was doing were really focused on that. How do we come back to the body? Like this coming back to our home sort of energy. How do we come back to ourselves? Because a lot of our world is focused so much on doing things for other people, getting things out there, being out in the world. Like it's all about extending, extending, extending. And very little are we being taught how to come back to and listen to ourselves. How do we come back and embody our feelings? How do we be present with our bodies? Like a lot of the women that I've worked with, when they've started working with me, they come in very tapped off with like what's actually happening inside their bodies. What is the menstrual cycle actually doing? How does that impact the way they show up? How is that impacting the way they create, how they launch, how they put something out into the world? And so a big part of what I've done for so long is helping women reconnect with themselves, permission themselves to actually take the rest when they need the rest, to work when they need to rest or when they want to work, and really getting into this rhythm that feels so much better for them. And then, so that's where I've been, right? And what I've been feeling is this energy into, and I wouldn't have really known that it was about the fire horse and whatnot, but this is something I was just feeling into on my own, was this essence of the wild feminine. What does that really look like? What is the wild feminine? Because I think with just a lot of the society stuff that's been happening in the last couple of years, we've been getting a lot of messages around the feminine being this very soft, delicate thing, that the feminine is women being in the home, taking care of the kids, more in this nurturing sort of role, maybe taking care of the house and the laundry and kind of that trad wife type of energy. And it's been this pushback from women that were maybe being very hyper independent, very masculine, like hustling really hard and working really hard. There's been this trend of women that are wanting to return back to more of that domestic kind of style of the feminine, right? Where we're in that nurturing role, we're the caretaker role, we're taking care of the children. And there's this dichotomy that I've seen where women are having a really hard time wrestling with like where they fit in all of this, and like what does the feminine actually mean and what does the feminine actually look like. And I think one, it's a diverse spectrum of what femininity really looks like. But on top of that, I think we've undervalued the wild feminine, the feminine that is here to create ripples, the feminine that's here to create change, the feminine that's here to help create this disruption in the way that we've been running the world and the way that the society is because of this injustice. So this last month inside the inner circle, we've been focused on sacred rage and like what that really looks like to be activated from a place of anger and allowing ourselves to really be in that place of anger. And what does anger and the fullest expression of anger really look like? anger, when we actually allow ourselves to transmute and move through anger, isn't this thing that is destructive. It is this thing that can be a catalytic, transformative thing that helps you create change and ripple into the world. The feminine has so much value and so much gifting to give the world. But what I find is that a lot of women have turned that part of themselves off. They have disconnected from their voice. They've disconnected from their anger. They've disconnected from their rage. They've disconnected from their emotions, their desires, what they truly want in this world. They've become so disconnected from who they truly are inside, and they can't actually make the change and the impact in their world that they want to. And I think part of it is this essence of coming back to our bodies, understanding our emotions, understanding our cycles, understanding our rhythms. All of this is bringing us back into this rhythm with nature that we were designed to be with. Technology has disconnected us from our innate beingness. The world and the noise and the things that we have go on has disconnected us from nature. Our world has very drastically hyper-focused on productivity and upward trajectory, success as being the end all be all, that our businesses need to be growing every year, that we need to be exponentially growing every year, that we need to be having these quantum leaps, that we need to be doing all of these things. And a big part of that has put us in this overdrive. And the backlash of that was women kind of fully stepping away from it, feeling so burnt out. But I think that this year, my prediction with this year is that this wild feminine, this fire horse energy is calling forth women leaders. It's calling forth women who are going to lead not from a place of dominance, not from a place of power, not from a place of like control. I want to go back, actually. I want to erase power, because I do think that there is a feminine power. It's a sense of control. Like we're not leading from a place of control, but it's leading from this place of intuition. It's leading from this place of embodiment. It's leading from this place of justice. It's leading from this place of love, of harmony, of creation. And I think that there's a deep, deep need for that in this world. And so my prediction, where I see this new year going, the vision that I'm casting for this 2026 lunar year, is really that those women start to rise up. That we are calling forth those women that are ready to step out. They're ready to be seen. They're ready to start taking bold actions. They're ready to do the inner work of taking care of themselves and making sure that their energy and their state and their identity is on point before ever taking actions, before ever doing any things. And we're never doing it from this place of proving or shoulding or becoming. It's all because of who we are and what we care about and the impact that we want to make in this world. I know this year there's going to be, it's fire. Like I feel it already. Like we're not even out of winter season, but I am feeling the fire. I'm feeling the activation. I am feeling this essence of there's a movement starting, and whether or not you're in the movement or off the movement is up to you. Are you going to be in the movement of women who are here that are ready to help change the world? Are you here to help change the world one child, one of your daughters or sons at a time, whether it's changing the community around you, one person at a time, whether it's one client at a time, or whether you have the desire to make massive political changes and massive changes across the globe? The choice is up to you. And it doesn't start with, we talked about this in the inner circle call the other day, is that change does not start with the big movement. The change starts with these micro things. And the example that I gave, which was totally dumb, but it was the one that came to mind, was this whole 6-7 thing that the kids did. I guarantee you that the first couple kids that did this whole 6-7 thing didn't necessarily think that it would become this viral trend that ends up on the Good Morning Show, or Good Morning Show. Is that what it is? Good Morning America? Yeah, Good Morning America, or the Today Show, or that it was going to be talked about everywhere, or that people were going to be making t-shirts or Christmas ornaments or any of these things that say 6-7. My daughter, she just got her baseball uniform and it's her number she picked was 6-7. Like nobody probably, those couple of kids or whoever started the 6-7 movement did not predict probably that that's where it was going to end up. It started with probably one or two little viral or like one or two little posts that they made on TikTok or Instagram. You don't know that the actions that you're taking today are not starting a movement. You don't know that now, right? We don't start with the movement. We start with the identity work and we start with the embodiment of who you are right now and the vision where you're wanting to go. When you cast that vision, when you know, hey, I'm moving towards that movement, the movement may not be there already, but it's moving towards that. So what is that movement that you're creating? What is that vision that you're casting? Where are you headed? So right now in this Lunar New Year, like today is, February 17th. If you hear this episode today, or if you hear it in the next week, spend this time really casting that vision. I teach my clients inside Your Cycle Advantage, creating this like vision manifesto that you repeat and you embody every single day. I have it on my phone as an audio meditation and I listen to it. My goal is every day. Some days, life happens and kids are up and out the door and things are moving faster than I can get down. But the goal for me is to start my morning every single day listening to this vision manifesto. In it has the characteristic traits that I'm embodying. It has the goals that I'm working for. It has the type of people that I'm calling into my world. It has the type of lifestyle that I want to create. It has the things that matter the most to me, my deepest values. And I listen to it every morning. And when I listen to it, it helps create this deep integration into my body and into my soul and into my DNA, what I'm doing every day. So when I get on social media and I make a post or I write an email or I write a podcast or I do anything in my business, it's operating from that lens of the vision that I'm creating, not in where I am right now. If we are operating from where we are right now, we are never going to move ourselves forward. You have to become the vision that you are creating. You have to become her. You have to become the embodiment of her right now. And it's really easy when we wake up every single day to be in our reality and to be in our space and only see what's right in front of us right now. And so we need these tools, these things to help us step into the identity of who we're becoming so that we do create that movement, that we do create that vision, that we do create those ripples and those changes in the world that are happening right now. There are women who are going to step up this year that are going to make massive shifts. There are women who are going to step up this world that are going to make quantum leaps in their businesses. There are women this year that are going to step forth and create so much healing for every person around them. The question is whether or not you're going to claim that, whether you're going to own that, whether that's going to be you. So where do you want to be at the end of 2026? When we wrap up and we get into the end of this year of the horse and next February, I don't even know what zodiac sign comes next, but when we step into that next year, do you want to be one of the women that's sitting on the sidelines watching all the other women rise? Or do you have that deep ache, that deep desire, that deep movement, that change that you want to see in this world and you're willing to step up and be that voice? Women need a voice. It doesn't have to be powerful. It can be soft. It can be gentle. It can be disruptive. It could be whatever. It needs to be you. It needs to be you. It needs to be unapologetically you. And this is what I see as the wild feminine. The wild feminine, the women who are unafraid of society's expectations of them. The women who are unafraid of what they thought they should be doing or what they need to be doing. But instead, they are so true to themselves and so true to their vision and the impact and the mission that they are on, that they are willing to keep going no matter what naysayer comes their way, no matter what belief pops up to the surface, because the vision that they hold is bigger than any of those things. Because I can guarantee you, we are all going to get negative reviews. We are all going to get people that want a refund. We are all going to get people that bad talk us. Like, it's going to happen. Like, there's never going to be a person out there that doesn't get any of those things. And if you are in that boat, like you've never had somebody say something bad about you, you've never had a refund, you've never had any, then you're not speaking big enough. You're not reaching enough people. You're playing it too safe right now. And there are people out there that need you to help them. They need you to help guide them. This is your year of being courageous. This is your year of taking bold action. This is our year as women of letting go of the paradigm and the ways of working and being and building a business that were never designed for us in the first place. This is when we let go of all of those outdated systems and structures, the misogynistic beliefs that are not serving us any longer. This is the rise of the wild feminine. This does not mean that there's anything wrong with the masculine. I love me, my men. They're great. It's about integrating and becoming all of who we truly are and all of the skills and the strengths and the powers and the beauty that we have. Tapping into those desires, tapping into loving our bodies, loving who we are, loving ourselves, and like connecting with other people and helping them refine themselves as well. This is a big part of the energy that I'm bringing into the Awaken retreat this year. So last year it was Awaken Your Feminine Magnetism. This year it's Awakening Your Wild Feminine. And the retreat guests that have come, I've had guests come multiple years in a row. And each one, the first one was like Retreat 1.0. And then they were joking that like the last one was Retreat 2.0. And next year is going to be 3.0. And whoa, next year is going to be 5.0. Because each year it just keeps getting better and better and better. One, because I learned, but two, the embodiment of what we're creating goes deeper. This is not a retreat for people who want to come and just have a great weekend away and they just want to have some space to kind of chill and, vibe out in San Diego. This is for the women who want to come and be activated into their highest next level. This is for the women that want to come in and have this deep, profound reconnection with their bodies, their visions, and what they're calling in this next year. This is for the women who no longer want to play it safe. They don't want to play it small, but they want to know that the way that they're building their business and the way that they're scaling and the quantum leaps that they're making is in a full alignment with who they are as a woman. This retreat, I just think about all of the pieces and all of the parts that I have coming and that are going to be integrated into this retreat. And I know that the women that walk into that retreat on Monday morning and they walk out on Friday are not going to be the same women. They're going to be drastically different women. They're going to be walking differently. They're going to be carrying themselves differently. They're going to activate this deep desire within that is unshakable. They're going to become unapologetic in who they are and the missions that they're on. I just I get so giddy on it. And I would love for every woman to be able to experience that. So like I said, there's only 5 spots left. If you go over to reneevick.com/awaken, you can get all the details on that and look into what that looks like and what that's going to be. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me a DM or an email. I am here to help you and to answer any of those questions, regardless if you say yes to this retreat. And I want to just preface that too. If you are feeling any ounce of inkling, ooh, your body's leaning in, ooh, you want to know more, ooh, this is for you. Trust that. That is the beginning of awakening that wild feminine part of you, is learning how to tap into that, how to start listening to those nudges, how to start listening to that voice that's inside, even when the doubts of how would I pay for it? What am I going to do about my family? How can I take a week away? Let all of those table for just a second and tap into the body and see what the body's actually feeling. Because I guarantee you, if you start listening to your body and you start listening to that intuition and you let all of those fears, you let all of those doubts sit on the table for just a moment, and you start listening into what your body is actually saying, you will start leading your life in a far different way. Because we're all going to have those fears and we're going to all have those doubts that pop up, right? How would I pay for this? Where's the money going to come from? How am I going to take a family time away? How am I going to arrange for somebody to take care of my kids? How am I going to all of the things, right? We second guess ourselves. But imagine if instead of second guessing yourself in your business and in your desires and in your life, you started leaning and learning to live from total alignment with what's true to your body, what your intuition is calling you, what God is telling you to do. And you started tapping into that. Imagine that we could hear the fears, we could see them, but they weren't the things that were actually guiding your life. Far too many women are letting fear guide their life in the subtlest little ways, in those small little thoughts and in those small little doubts, and the who am I's and am I good enough and can I make this happen and Anna, can I deserve this and can I afford this? But what if instead you just listened to your intuition? Where would that take you? Could that take you to San Diego as a part of the Awaken Your Wild Feminine retreat? Possibly. Would that take you to diving into your cycle advantage or the inner circle? Possibly. Could that take you across the world, traveling to some far off country and experiencing like the life of your dreams? Possibly. But you will never know unless you start tapping into that voice and you start listening to it and let those fears sit for a little bit. So my invitation for you during the set for today's podcast is 1, to tap into that vision. What are you calling in this year? What are you creating? And most importantly, who are you becoming? Who are you becoming? And how do you become her now? How do you awaken that wild feminine within that's unapologetic, that's willing to stand up, that's willing to make change, that's really ready to create the healing in the world that the world needs right now? That movement. Maybe it's just a small movement. Maybe it's a massive movement, but you get to make the change. You get to make the change and help break down the structures and the systems that are keeping so many women stuck. So with that, welcome to 2026. It's going to be fire. And I'm so freaking excited. And I'm excited to be on this journey with you, however we work together in some way, shape, or form. And I look forward to hearing all about your vision. Please do come over to my Instagram or my email or wherever and tap in. Let me know, like, what is that vision? Like, what are you calling in? What are you letting go and leaving behind in that last year of the snake? And what are you calling in with this fire horse energy? Who are you becoming? All right. Have a great rest of your day. All right, love. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode with me. It was such a pleasure and honor to be able to spend and hold space with you today. If you would love to dive into more, I invite you to grab a free copy of my book, Cycle Sync Your Business. You just head on over to reneefick.com/free book, and you can grab that free copy. It'll ship directly to your door. Or you can go over to reneefick.com/The Feminine Way to grab the first couple chapters on audiobook so you can listen on the go wherever you are, however you want. And if you're interested in learning more about how you can work with me inside your Cycle Advantage or the Awaken Retreat, I invite you to head on over to reneefick.com and check both of those 2 programs out. With that, I will see you in the next episode. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day.